You get up here and it's just humbling.
And hoops and high hopes. Far from his kingdom, a winning coach sets a safety net for Aboriginal kids at risk.
And they do really need role models. They need health care. They need attention.
The plight of Aboriginal communities in outback Australia has been well documented in recent years. The statistics continue to paint a bleak picture. Substance abuse, abysmal standards of health, education and housing. But now some of Australia's elite athletes are determined to do their bit to tackle these problems to the extent that they can, giving up their time and money to take part in a road trip to inspire and educate Indigenous youths in some of the Northern Territory's remotest communities. Murray McLaughlin reports.
The Catholic Church built the community of Santa Teresa 50 years ago to keep Aboriginal people isolated from malign influences of Alice Springs, 85 kilometres to the northwest. You can spot visitors a long way off, and this dust cloud thrown up by a distant convoy has the kids of Santa Teresa in high excitement.
When these guys get here, you listen real closely, okay? No talking, no teasing, no laughing, all right?
The kids of Santa Teresa suffer the same privations as afflict all remote Aboriginal communities. Health and education standards fall far behind those of the wider community. A troupe called Athletes as Role Models is coming to town, and they want to spread simple messages of encouragement and improvement. Lauren Burns is among them. She won a gold medal for Tae Kwon Do at the Sydney Olympics.
Anybody heard of a lady called Lauren Burns? She won a gold medal. What for?
Winning.
That's right.
I mean, I don't think we have any preconceived ideas that we're going to come in on the tour and change everything in a few days. But, you know, we're just trying to reinforce some of the things that the teachers are talking about, the elders are talking about, the healthcare, the nurses in the clinic and things that people are talking about, and just coming from a different perspective.
The core objectives, you know, we're still going to concentrate on substance abuse issues. We're still going to concentrate on looking after your body.
The program Athletes as Role Models, known as A.R.M Tour, began in 1997. It was started by John Van Groningen, who had been a bush pilot for an Aboriginal community in the Central Desert, and went on to become a chaplain in the Australian National Basketball League.
Growing up on basketball in the United States and having a fascination for sport and youth work, I just kind of melded those three interests, and living on the community, I could see the influence of sport and the part that sport played in celebration and community life.
Brian Gorgian is a big name in the A.R.M Tour group. He coached the Sydney Kings to their NBL championship victory this year. This is his third tour, but he hasn't lost a sense of outrage about the living conditions in remote Aboriginal communities.
You get up here and it's just humbling. You know, the kids really need something. They do really need role models. They need health care. They need attention. And I remember the first clinic I did, I was just, you know, it was kind of like you're frozen. You know, you're looking around and you can't believe it.
Brian Gorgian has an abiding respect for the innate sporting abilities of the young people he's met through Central Australia.
You know, they've got a flair for the game. They've got great hand-eye coordination. There's no doubt in my mind if the work was put in here, it was put into like the kids get in the center of Sydney or the center in Melbourne, we'd be producing a lot more professional football players, a lot more professional basketball players. There's a lot here athletically that could come into society and make a statement.
Former world and Pan-Pacific champion Lindley Frame retired from professional swimming in 1996. This is her third A.R.M Tour, and she too is impressed by the potential of the kids at Santa Teresa.
They're so athletic, their hand-eye coordination is unbelievable. I was absolutely stunned actually at how good they were in the swimming pool. I think the hope is that we can make a bit of a difference. Not a lot, because that would be expecting too much, but to give these kids contact with someone that they're not used to seeing every day, and just to maybe teach them about healthy eating and good food. A.R.M Tour has been on the road through Central Australia for the past week.
15 sports stars are along this year. There were only 4 on the first tour 6 years ago. They've paid their own airfares to get here, and low-key business sponsorships fund the road journey. The athletes will maintain contact with schools via the internet, and John Van Bronigan wants to make these visits more frequent to diminish any perception that the athletes are just fair-weather do-gooders.
Look, I think that's the danger of these types of programs, that we come into a community for a few hours or a few days and we leave and we don't see them again. And I guess that's what we're trying to address.
Mutijulu, the Aboriginal community at Uluru, has been on A.R.M Tour's visiting list for several years. This is one of the most troubled communities on this week's schedule. Mutijulu is off limits to the 400,000 tourists who visit Uluru each year, and who have no idea of how petrol sniffing has ruined the lives of many young people here.
Sometimes I eat Weet-Bix. I could eat probably 15 or 20 Weet-Bix.
Community leaders at Mutijulu say the impact of A.R.M Tour's visits has been positive.
It mightn't show straight away, but they certainly talk about it a lot, the kids, and they play a lot more basketball and they do a lot more sports in general. And we're just trying to encourage them more by getting new lights and that at the basketball court so they can play later and things like that.
That's good. Oh, that's a good shot.
And not just the kids benefit from A.R.M Tour. The athletes themselves say the experience has lifted their own lives.
You know, I can get out of my comfort zone, where, you're surrounded by materialistic things and, you can complain about the smallest little things. And you come out here and it just really puts things into perspective, and it just balances really well. So I really enjoy just getting that nice level, You go back home and then everything just looks a bit better.
Woohoo!
Impressive. Murray McLaughlin with that report, and that's the program for tonight.